もう戻れないね春を待つ僕らの青い民を愛や夢でごちゃ混ぜにして走ったぼやけていくのに消えはしないよなじゃれ合いの中でついた傷を重ねた場所とは違うとこから歩き出すから泣きじゃくった日々を背に僕は行くよねえ見ててよおかしくて笑ったすれ違い起こったあなたとの夢を叶えてくるよ悲しい時すごく辛い時思い出す記憶を過ごした時間をこの心の背もたれにして今度後ろを振り向くときは手でも振って笑い合えたらいいな森の奥深く迷い込んでても差し込む朝日に夜明けを知るたとえ見えなくても過去未来今が手をつないで次の夜を照らしてるここにいるよそばに来てよ置き去りの願いをまだ残してるんだ何食わぬ顔で生きていても会いたい時抱きしめたい時思い出す記憶を過ごした時間を見える未来の明かりにしてもう消えたい逃げたいと叫んだ絶望の中を出会いも奇跡さえも恨んだ最大なあの日をたがったことにはできないのだからそれでも生きてよかったってせめて最後に思えますようにもう戻れないね僕は行くよねえ見ててよあなたより大事なものを探してくるよ何よりも大事なあなたのために会いたい時抱きしめたい時
All right, welcome back everybody to our second match of round of 16, where we have quite an interesting matchup. First seed APAC Radiant up against 17th seed in the qualies, the Freak Squad. Funnily enough, the only team outside of the top 16 qualifications to actually get into the bracket stage. Definitely going to be a tough matchup for the Freak Squad. Obviously, they're coming here into this one as the underdogs, but if they can even get a few points here, it's going to be pretty big for them. Commentating this match, I'm Vordy, and alongside of me is the Australian legend Mavs. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, fellas? Yeah, this is going to be a real tough matchup for the Freak Squad. Let's be honest. As freaky of a Freak Squad they might think they are. They are in fact versing the super team of the tournament, with several of the best tournament players in the world on it. Henry, worst hard rock player, like two of the best players straight up on the same team. And not only that, they've also got Secret Box, Flying Tuna, two very, very prestigious, very well-known players as well, Alegrissimo, and then they've got some up-and-comers too. Kamenchik, this guy's been going crazy, Like, I don't even know, his solo scores have been absolutely unreal recently, and he performed, like, so well in OWC as well, from what I remember. He was carrying, doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as you mentioned, I would say if you ask most people who they think is going to win this tournament, it's probably APAC Radiant. The star power, they have pretty much every skill set you could imagine covered up to a grand finals level. It is going to be a tough one, but I mean, Freak Squad probably won the most hype matchup of the group stage. They won the 5-4, the only tiebreaker match in a group stage, which had a lot of 5-0s, a lot of 5-1s. They put on a show, so let's see if they can do it again. They're gonna first ban Hidden 1. I just don't want the hidden aim control smoke that APAC Radiant presents.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a really tough matchup, of course, for Freak Squad, just especially in this ban phase. Just ban whatever you think your team is going to do the worst on. Never, ever try and target the weakness of a team that's going to be better in pretty much every single facet. Just ban whatever you think your team is going to do the worst on in terms of your overall team score, and you go from there, I say. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of the lineup for Freak Squad, I mean, I'm not familiar with all of these players. The one, obviously, that stands out the most to me is Shiox. Very, very good German player. Performed admirably in a few OWC matches over the past couple of years. If memory serves me correctly. So, pretty good player in general, but yeah, unfortunately just not super familiar with all of these players on this roster, of course, in comparison to APAC Radiant. Of course, everyone's going to know these players on this team.
Yeah, I believe I recall Silvery as well, really, really strong Polish player, good on a few skill sets. I do think this team, on at least several maps in this pool, will have some good performances. It's not going to be at the difficulty level where these players are outscaled, which obviously plays into their favor. But I mean, yeah, up against APAC Radiant, you have, you know, if you have like a top 10 roster of a lot of these maps, like you can have your pick out of the top 10 best players of that skill set in the world. Like, they're going to have probably all of the, at least 4 in those top 10 for most of these skill sets. It's just that level of strength here. First picking the Hidden 2, the AR8 Hidden. I believe this was one of the DTs in Corsai's Closed Grand Finals. This was like a flow aim stamina map. Here it is a low AR flow aim control map.
Yeah, I do believe you are correct. So you can see that one here. And also APAC Radiant as well, having Hyok as well in their team. I just didn't even recall that was a name change. He's now Biok with a B. So yeah, just disgusting players on this team, man. But we're going to be getting this first pick out from... Whose pick was this? APAC Radiant's pick.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so... Interesting first one. I don't think there's really going to be much in terms of a pick strategy for APAC Radiant. They're probably just going to be picking what they feel like they want to play at the time. I don't think they'd be going into a matchup this early in a tournament, really trying to heavily strategize around anything. Just kind of picking what they feel good on at the time, and it's going to be this. And they definitely do have a roster that's going to be extremely strong on an AR8 pick. See Henry in that first slot already know this roster's going to be good.
You can imagine if they have where stage 5 player almost definitely goes in. Curious to see who... I recall Shiox being like a really good Hidden 2 player.
Yeah, he was, right?
Yeah, but they're not in the lobby, so maybe not available. Because I can't imagine Shiox not playing a Hidden 2 if they're around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shiox was that player in for Germany who was in on the low AR, in on the gimmicky stuff.
Yeah,
I think it was Shiox.
I remember Shiox like crushing Kuru in whatever stage I was in, like the
like a late round. It's pretty late round. I think it was like 7 minutes at least. Yeah.
Picture not available. I mean, it might be the case for both teams. You don't see where stage 12 player in APAC Radiant would almost definitely be playing an AR8 Hidden. They were around, but we're going to see Henry, Hyok, Restia, Box for the side of APAC Radiant, and Silvery, Skiatso, Hideo, and Polski for Freak Squad.
Yep, here we go. First map of the match is going to be in the round of 16 here, going up to best of 11. I do believe last week was year 9, so...
Yeah, first to 6.
Yep, slightly longer matches in store here. So we get into the first map of the match, AR8 to kick things off. Always can be a little bit nerve-wracking if you're not quite warmed up for low AR. You can just utterly collapse at the start of a match in an AR8 first pick, and as you can see, a few chain misses already early. Box is down, Resty is down, Schiazzo's down, Hedio's down, Polski's down, almost everyone except for Silvari and Enric. Actually, the 1v1 on FCs early.
Yeah, I believe Silvari as well. I feel like Silvari reminds me of Boshi. I think very good at hard rock precision and low AR hidden. Like that kind of weird mix of skill sets. I mean, definitely expected Enric to hold. I don't recall Resty being as confident as a low AR player, but definitely picking back up the combo. Drops from Box and Hyok as well, but Enric breaks, and now it's Silvari to hold. Oh, does find the drop on that square stream, and now that's square advantage back to APAC.
Some of these patterns are disgusting. Space streams with like weird angles on AR8 actually looks incredibly hard to hold. One of probably the best team in the tournament right now, actually with no FCs on the board in round of 16. But they are still taking the lead. Very, very valiant effort from Silvari. If they managed to hold, it might have been looking doable. But unfortunately, this is a very short map, and we've only got about less than 30 seconds left on it. It looks like it's already going to be sealed up, but not convincingly at all. Silvari had a chance there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world where Silvari holds on, finds a few less misses, and that 400k becomes like a 600, 700k, and it's enough. So not as dominant of a first pick as you would expect from APAC RADIANT. Silvari actually top scoring, I believe.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Henry and Box right behind. And yeah, just main difference there being the 3-4 player advantage.
Yeah, just the overall comfort, higher average scores from APAC RADIANT. It's kind of what you expect, especially on a map like that. I'm not going to lie. You're not going to see many teams outside of some of the top teams in the tourney, as well as maybe some gimmicky or like low AR specialist teams in the tournament that are going to have a full roster on a map like that that's going to be comfortable. That actually looked really hard for round of 16. Some of those space zigzags on AR8 are no slouch. Very, very hard to consistently hit. And that map was kind of 2 minutes non-stop.
It's funny to think. I wouldn't be surprised if several of the players on APAC would have scored higher, just hit DT only, like the map that was played in Corsai's Close GF, because then it becomes more of a mechanics map than a reading map. But yeah, with hidden, slow down, that looks much harder than I anticipated.
But now, Freak Squad to pick, and similarly to how I suggested, I think the way they handle their bans, just maybe ban whatever you don't feel good on. Don't try and target ban the best team in the tournament. I think similarly, for your picks, you do the same thing. I think you pick whatever you feel good on. Don't try and target pick against a team like this. Just pick what you think you're going to get a good team score on and go from there. Yeah,
for sure. You pick a map, you're going to have a 4-man roster who are all comfortable enough to play it, and just pray they get some silly breaks, you get some good scores, and that is really the only way you win in a matchup like this. You go for the No Mod 2 Flow Aim Stamina map, Knowledge King special. Obviously, this is going to be something that APAC RADIANT has some excellent players for, notably looking at Box, one of the best Flow Aim players in the game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, as much as Freak Squad, hopefully this is one of their more confident maps in the pool. Hopefully they can get a point on the board here. Of course, APAC RADIANT, they are going to have a ridiculous lineup for it. As you mentioned, Box not going to be leaving that slot. Unbelievably good on maps like this. Enri as well. Incredible on No Mod 2s. So curious to see who they fill the rest of their roster with.
Hyok as well. I think people obviously know Hyok more so for his raw aim, especially with all the Twitter clips he's been pumping out recently, but very good flow aim player. I believe most of his top plays are flow aim because obviously raw, no mod, hard rock aim isn't worth much. So if Hyok is able to tap the BPM, which he's been pushing speed recently, he's going to have really good flow aim as well. And Allegrisimo coming in for the 4th slot. Inside of Freak Squad, you have Hideo, Polski, Schiazzo, and Solo drinking. Now, this is a skill set they did quite fine on Quals, but it is APAC RADIANT who got number 1 in the No Mod 2 in Quals, so up against stiff competition here.
Yeah, but I do like the strategy, like I was saying. Pick what you're comfortable with. Who cares if they got number 1? Like, I like this strategy. Pick what you think you're going to have a good roster on. I am backing their strat here. all the way. And it's interesting to see Allegrisimo. Like, not that he's not good at streams, it's just funny because whenever I watch him in tournaments, obviously it's usually on the South Korean roster in OWC, and you don't really see him in for stream picks, just because the rest of their roster, they usually have a better 4-man just lined up for it. So cool to see him in here. Haven't really got to watch him play many stream maps, to be honest, in a tournament setting.
Yeah, keen to see. I'd say probably one of the more mechanically demanding maps of the pool. Nothing really too gimmicky here, just pure 200 BPM stamina. Not sure if that's a client bug from Polsky or if they haven't joined in yet.
Oh, yeah.
I'm part of a client bug, yeah. A bunch of Bancho misses. But right now it looks like a 4-3 advantage inside of Freak Squad, only Allegrisimo being the one to drop.
Already early on. A few tricky accelerating patterns that could very easily catch someone off guard. But no one faltering except for Allegrisimo early on in the map. And I imagine this spike is probably going to get pretty hectic shortly, so that early miss probably not going to make too much of a difference.
But I mean, so far I think they've been playing to the strategy you mentioned, Mavs. Freak Squad looking pretty comfortable. Obviously expect to see some breaks on the div spike, but can definitely all play the map, which is what you need here.
Oh, tough miss from Hideo on that little accelerating space pattern, but it is... Oh, and there goes Solo Drinking. Not a very good trade there to take. That's 2 misses down, 2 FCs down for Freak Squad, and APAC Radiant still holding to this 3-way. Allegrisimo holding onto this reverse choke as we're already over halfway through the map. And Hideo down again, Solo Drinking down again, but they're at least the players you want to miss. Still the 2 FCs intact, and still a chance if APAC Radiant can find some collapses, but right now it's not looking promising as Allegrisimo drops the only not FC on their side.
Box does break, however. That gives Freak Squad more of a chance, but not much time left. You need Enri and potentially even Hyok to find a break here, and with Skiatso dropping, the chances of winning this pick goes down substantially. Polsky still on the FC, 199%, but Enri and Hyok still holding. Especially with that score lead, that is going to be likely it for this one. But I mean, honestly, a solid effort for a map that is this mechanically demanding.
Yeah, I mean, good scores from Freak Squad here, to be honest. Like, can Polsky close out the FC alongside Hyok and Enri here? It'd be impressive to see. One of the lowest seeded teams in the tournament, and he does. There it is. Nice FC and a solid 630k supporting score, 450k. Hideo, even on the 360, definitely all 4 players able to play that map. It's just, I mean, what do you really do against some of the best stream players in the game? It's very hard to win the point, but it's one of their best picks still, regardless. So still very well done from them. Good valiant effort.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Polsky now has the IFC to no mod 2 against box advantage.
Yeah,
so that's a good one to hold.
Yeah, really good score there.
Not a bad pick from them at all, but obviously, as you mentioned, just winning with this C differential on really anything is going to be tough climb. They first picked Hidden 2. Wasn't as dominant of a victory. I mean, if I had to guess, you know, the kind of maps they could pick to, assuming they have the full roster available, to have some solid wins, I would think stuff like DT3 maybe, very high BPM, stamina. Don't know if Freak Squad is going to have as many players for it. Play some of the hardest stuff, maybe something like No Mod 3. Not sure if Birthday Sharp player is here, but see, that would be a pretty good pick regardless with just the players they have.
Yeah, I think if you're APAC Radiant, you can definitely, if you really go into this match super prepared, which I don't know if they will be, just obviously because of the seeding difference, you probably feel very confident going into this no matter what, and you just pick whatever you're comfortable playing. But if they really want to put a strat up here, definitely, you can just pick like the harder maps in the pool, like the highest skill cap stuff, or you can just pick the most unconventional things, and Freak Squad's probably not going to have a 4-man lineup for it. But they are going to go for number 4 here. It's a little Lapix map. And this, I believe, is a Perennial custom.
I believe so, yeah.
Perennial difficulty.
I think a collab by Aknose and Pip. I think. But obviously, yeah, this is another skill set that's going to be very good for APAC Radiant. They have, I would probably say, what is the best control team in the tournament in most cases. And players like Henry, you have Allegrisimo here. They have a pretty wild tech or aim control roster. And as you mentioned, this is the kind of mapping type that is gimmickier, harder to full combo, much easier to miss on, kind of stuff that if you're APAC Radiant and you really want to win this matchup, this is the kind of stuff you go for.
Yeah, and I don't even think West Hard Rock players here, which is they're still gonna have a ridiculous roster, but
they're still gonna. I mean,
he was not in.
No,
yeah, he was not in for that hidden
too.
So. I'm assuming he's not here. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, their roster's still gonna be probably the best that any team can put up in the tournament, even without Forum. So gonna be getting Henry in again, Hyok in again, Allegrisimo coming in again. Will we see a debut from anyone on APAC Radiant here?
Yes, as well at this level, if you're used to mechanics, I think it's the same roster we just saw on the Nomad 2 once again.
Yeah, we haven't seen Common Ship, we haven't seen Flying Tuna, and we haven't seen West Hard Rock play out, so very possible. It could be a couple players perhaps not even here. Oh no, there's Tuna. He is coming in. I was gonna say, I was literally about to say, would expect Tuna on a map like this, but here he is, coming in for Box.
Yeah, Tuna definitely gonna be one of the top 4 tech players on the side of APAC Radiant. The OG Worst HR player before Worst HR player. On the side of Freak Squad, you have 3 BDO, I believe, coming in for their first maps. Yatso, Shinkiro, Solo Drinking as well. And you know, 2-minute tech, like 2-minute tech, miracles could happen. You know, even if you're a really good tech player, can still get some silly misses. Get a couple miracle runs on the side of Freak Squad.
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes long. Very, very short maps. Really, anything can happen. Yeah, 3 BDO, first map of the match. I think possibly Shinkiro as well, the first map, but could be incorrect on that. But here we go. 2 minutes, like you said. Be a lot of funny and weird patterns, and although it's going to be easy for Freak Squad to miss, it also can possibly be easy for APAC Radiant to miss on some of these. One little slip up, but early, it's just going to be Solo Drinking to have the slip up. Oh, there goes 3 BDO though as well. Allegrisimo actually was Bancho, so... Oh no, they were both Bancho.
Yeah,
okay.
They were both Bancho, yeah. So far, Freak Squad right behind, but Solo Drinking matching Henry's miss on that brutal acceleration. 3 BDO dropping his Shinkiro gone. It's now just Skiatso on the FC, but Hyok matching. Allegrisimo breaks as well. That gives Freak Squad some breathing room here.
Yeah, there's room, but it's gonna need to be a miss from Hyok or Flying Tuna for Skiatso to make any room for Skiatso, really. But so far, approaching that 2/3 waymark in the map here. Both players on APAC Radiant still holding onto the FCs. Tuna on the near FC. But Skiatso holding on strong, sees the scores. He's got a lot of work to do. And there goes Tuna. Tuna down. It's just Hyok. Hyok is gonna have to miss though very soon if Free Squad want any chance of pulling this back. And Skiatso, he's gonna have to hold this FC. And no! The cursor wiggle! The devastation in that cursor wiggle. I saw it, man.
The pain. You can feel it.
Now, all you gotta hope for him is that Hyok FCs, because I kinda hope he does now, because that's a painful miss.
if Hyok FCs, you could at least say, you know, it was already lost, but Hyok looking super comfortable here on the 97% FC, hitting all of its flame at the end here. The last wiggle, and does find the full combo.
Yeah, so there you go. It wouldn't have mattered in the end, as devastating as that miss was for Skiatso. Would not have mattered in the end. It was a 900k diff, no possible way to make up that score difference. It was just, again, the overall average score is just way higher for APAC Radiant. Man, I would have loved to see Skiatso just go schizo there and just FC though, and win the map. That would be insane.
That's a nuts title, Schizo Skiatso.
Schizo, yeah.
Yeah, a solid win from APAC Radiant here, up 3-0 now. And Freak Squad don't delay in their pick, going right into the Hard Rock 2. Honestly, I like this pick from them. I genuinely think if you're the underdog, like this is the skill set you go for, just because it's so volatile. This is also smaller than 6.5. I believe it's like 6.8 or something because it's base CS 5.2. But yeah, just precision, aim map. It's the kind of skill set where even if you're very confident on it, if your aim just isn't feeling it that day, you might find a lot of silly misses in. Bit of a coin toss pick that is better if you're the more skill cap team.
Yeah, I agree. I like this, especially Hard Rock 2s or like just high CS maps in general that aren't like super mechanics intensive. I'm not super familiar with this map, but even if it's not like, if it's not really heavy mechanics, these are good maps to go for against as an underdog, just because you're just banking on that RNG factor, slight misaim, slight little misposition on the cursor. It's all it takes when the circles are this small.
I do believe that it's also, I think, if Henry has a least favorite skill set, I think it might be this one, maybe. I still think Henry will play fine just because of the star rating won't be high enough to face Henry at all, but that might be a factor here. But still, you have Hyok, you have Box, Allegrisimo, all really good Hard Rock players. Like Allegrisimo for South Korea, I believe, is massive on those Hard Rocks. So, and obviously the aim on Hyok is nothing to be underestimated. So, stiff competition, but Sylvari, I believe, this is their bread and butter, this type of Hard Rock precision. So, maybe looking to them for this one.
Yeah, Allegrisimo never not in for a Hard Rock pick for South Korea. Of course, gonna see Allegrisimo in for this. Here we go. That 5.5 star is gonna go ahead and assume, it's an educated guess, that this is not going to be super mechanics focused. So possibly in the favor. Well, not in the favor, but rather closer to a 50-50 for Freak Squad as compared to anything else that has been played in the match so far. And whenever you play these like lower mechanics intensive maps, lower star rating maps, it always tends to be very close regardless of the, I guess, the pedigree of either team. Early stage in a tournament like this. We've seen it before in tournaments like Hippo Cup, right? In those very early stages.
I guess the higher the average scores, the closer the team scorelines will be. It is going to be the first two breaks, so from 3BDO and Shinkiro. Two combos left on the side of Freak Squad, and you have to hope they can be held on.
Ooh. 3BDO and Shinkiro not looking too comfortable in this as they find another miss. Both find another miss, and APAC Radiant still holding on to their near four-way. Box does find the drop there, and there goes Sylvari. That's a big one to lose for Freak Squad. It's just Polsky now going up against the 3 FCs, and really not many players able to hold any sort of combo for Freak Squad, and there goes Polsky. Well, I mean, everything we said, maybe it's just out the window. We've got 0 FCs left. That is brutal early on in this map.
That is rough. I mean, Polsky was the one to FC the Numwats who was praying for that double FC, but unfortunately it does find the break. And it's fair to break on a map like this. The extra small circle size compared to your normal 6.5 definitely will be a factor here. And now Allegrisimo, the only one remaining with a full combo.
Yep, Allegrisimo doing Allegrisimo things. Love to see this guy on these small circle Hard Rock maps. Always performing well on them. But I mean, yeah, like I was saying, definitely not a super mechanics focused map. It's just weird. And there's just randomly some really wide angles. And you just kind of can see why this catches these players off guards, and also just some strange sliders here and there. And some linear aim and like stuff like that. Like even though the spacing on that isn't crazy, it's just awkward. Like, it just looks like anti-aim, and then they're just like, and here's a quad burst to finish it off. It's like, good luck.
It's weird, it's the timing of it, the sort of low BPM for a flow aim, and you have to be so precise on the circle size to hit them. Allegrisimo does finally find a break, but the damage has been done at this point. Really only 3BDO to, no longer to match Hyok. I think a lot of people just broke there. Most of the combos on now.
Yeah, that was a really hard pattern. It was like just top left corner. There was just this spaced quad again. I think it's been happening quite a bit, but that was like the most spaced one, I think, so far. Definitely awkward.
Gotta say, I can't believe this map is 5.5 star rating, but it's actually 6.3. Still definitely underrated for this difficulty.
Oh yeah, that's without Hard Rock, true. Just say AR9 should have picked up on that. Yeah, definitely that star rating without Hard Rock. But still, even with for a low 6 star, I mean, it's, yeah, this looks pretty hard.
But I mean, judging by the scores of Freak Squad, I think it's another no mod 2 situation. They have 4 players who can at least play this relatively adequately, maybe only 3 video not having the best of time, but it's another situation where it's just really hard to find a map that you can outcompete APAC on.
Yeah, I mean, when you have players like Henry getting 300k, definitely the map is just no slouch whatsoever. I mean, there's some pretty low scores on APAC Radiant considering round of 16. I think it just goes to show the difficulty of a weird map like this.
Yeah.
The average scores for Free Squad not even that far behind. It's really just Allegrisimo being that outlier who really made the difference.
I do think, I assume if APAC Radiant does have their full roster, I don't imagine Henry stepping in for Hard Rock 2s, generally.
Yeah.
Because it isn't their favorite skill set, but I mean, yeah, Allegrisimo, just having one player who is super comfortable at stuff like this is enough in matchups where obviously have a pretty decent seed gap. But now APAC up 4-0 going into their third and potentially, depending on how this goes, their last pick.
Instant DT4 pick. Lewis Cole, I'm tired. Right now, it's all right. Map by Wowie.
This is an interesting one. One of the longer maps in this pool. I think without DT, this is like over 6 minutes long. So over 4 minutes after DT, definitely a rare sight. But yeah, it's just awkward aim control, and it's just very long, so you have a lot of time to make mistakes.
Oh, these are second bans, excuse me.
Oh, second bans? Oh, never mind.
Just
okay,
completely forgot.
Just blundered.
Damn, dude, I was
Right.
so ready to watch
I've had to play that map for some tournament. I'm honestly not upset about that ban.
Oh man. Well, Fremont 2 is now gone as well. The flawless wings of. Never mind. Flawless wings. That one's gone too. So now we go to the picks, and it's going to be APAC Radiant 2 pick here. Not sure what they might go for. I'm trying to think like what was their most dominating victories so far. I think that No Mod 4 was pretty damn convincing, if I recall. So I think it was like 900k.
Yeah, number
So
4 was
possibly
pretty
something-
convincing.
Yeah, something like that. Like some tech, maybe some weird gimmicky stuff again. I mean, they've gone for the Hidden 2, they've gone for No Mod 4. It makes sense.
I mean, as far as gimmick, Hard Rock 3 is kind of gimmicky for Hard Rock standards. You obviously have like alt maps if you want to go something like Hidden 3 or No Mod 3. Otherwise, you have a lot of speed as well, and yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to brush up on your speed roster, but I do think APAC Radiant have like a more consolidated speed roster. I don't think they have too many fills, potentially, but wouldn't be a bad thing to test out.
They are definitely thinking on it. Considering the next pick, and it's gonna
Let's
be
go!
number 6. Yeah.
This is easily my favorite map in the pool.
Oh man.
Aw.
Are we seriously getting some AR 1.8?
Is
that what we're getting right now?
Dude. Airy is the goat of very low AR maps. It's the absolute goat. I mean, obviously,
I'm curious since I haven't really
No
seen
Mod
it
6. No Mod 6 is, when it comes to low ARs, normally AR8, AR6 maybe, focused on aim. This is AR 1.8. Now the raw mechanics of this map is going to be very easy for these players. Star rating 4.64, and the patterns aren't really too spicy. The hardest parts here are going to be the flow and aim jumps. Really, this is just a case of can you play 1.8. A lot of these players are comfortable at AR8 and even AR8 hidden, but this is a bit of a different animal. You might not be as comfortable on this as you are on anywhere near as comfortable on like 6-star AR8 maps even, if you're not practiced.
It's so funny. It's almost like the juxtaposition between like when you usually get like a low AR map picked and you kind of have the same sort of spiel that you had, and then you're like, the real question is, can you play AR8? But then this time you're just like, can you play AR 1.8? It's like, no one can play that. Very, very few players can play this AR comfortably without extensive practice. So, interested to see this lobby and see if like anyone's really practiced for this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we will see. Why is this AR 1.8 crying face? Damn, dude. Yeah, a lot of patterns as well that if you haven't played this map, you haven't practiced it, you will get jump scared by certain rhythms and you will probably over tap something or, you know, tap something too early. Just because of this approach rating, it makes practice much more important if you're not a god at this AR, which not many are.
I can't read AR9 GG from Hyuk in the chat. Well, Hyuk, this is 8.2 lower than AR9, so 7.2, excuse me. So, yeah, you're a bit away from that, so we'll see if you can handle it.
We'll see. I'm genuinely curious to see how the plays are on this map. Flying Tuna, though, and for it, Flying Tuna, I believe, really solid, not just conventional ARA, but also easy, which I think is very helpful in stuff like this.
Really just looks like an easy map, doesn't it?
I mean,
especially
yeah,
with the CS 3.6.
Yeah.
Just looks like an easy map.
Henry, the first to break for APAC.
Yeah, just the one miss so far. Nothing too crazy so far. Definitely something that has that's been playable so far without extensive practice, but I imagine it's probably going to get a little bit more
Awkward
difficult
pattern here.
Yep, here they are. And there's a
so
bunch of
many
misses.
people
Henry again. 3BDO and Hideo down, but still 3 FCs for APAC Radiant. And there you go. Hyuk, he can play AR 1.8. He is a straight line.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is mostly an A map and he's SSing. Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Henry, the only one to find struggles, but you know, still Sylvari and Shinkiro right behind. A bit over halfway through the map. If APAC finds some breaks, Freak Squad has the combos there to take the squad back.
I mean, this is just absolute cinema from Tuna and Hyuk here. Oh, was the double SS. Hyuk finds a miss there. But there's still the SS on the other side as well. So, see if anyone can close those out.
I remember this section of the map being the most awkward. The back-to-backs are solid.
Wait, there's 2 FCs for Freak Squad, and just the one from Tuna. If Tuna
drops.
misses, oh, but Shinkiro misses, not the one who needed to. If Tuna had to have missed there, it would have been doable, but damn.
And I mean, I think out of all of the scores from Freak Squad, this has been their best effort so far. I mean, even the players who didn't look as comfortable probably weren't as, you know, practiced on this skill set. They still look like they practiced the map. Sylvari with a massive FC 99.84, but obviously Tuna 1,000,003, that SS, and just those backing 600Ks being the difference.
Yeah, I think possibly Henry sight reading that one. I think Henry definitely is a player who could play something like this.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Definitely, I think it looks like a sight read from Henry.
Most likely, it's a tough one to sight read for sure. Flying Tuna thought it was best of 9. Maybe he said a GG's too early. Watch the reverse sweep here. Imagine.
Oh man, that would be one for the books. The SS from Tuna though, and then it was the 1/100 from Sylvari, I believe. So
yeah,
very well
Sylvari.
done. Yeah.
Oh, a near FC from Shinkiro as well. Really good effort.
Yeah, it was doable. That was absolutely doable. If Shinkiro held onto that FC, dare I say they might have even won without Tuna missing. I would have been very close. I didn't quite see Shinkiro's ending score there, but it was only like a 200k score diff total. So I think it might have actually won if Shinkiro FC'd. Very close.
Maybe. It would have been very close just because of the 3 and 4 man scores, but yeah, definitely possible. Out of all of the maps played so far, I think that was the most doable win, and on a, you know, like a steal point as well. But here we go, they pick Nomad 5, so 240 BPM speed map. I think this is the skill set that has been untouched in this matchup. APAC Radiant not going for it, maybe Freak Squad saying maybe their tapping players aren't here today or aren't feeling it today, so going a different direction. I so far think Freak Squad's picks have been all really sound, like nothing against their pick strategy.
I agree. I think they've been picking well. Actually, this is like they're giving themselves the best chance to try and even get on the board here.
Yeah,
I mean, they're giving themselves the best chance to like win. I mean, yeah, they're trying. Is it going to be a high chance? No, it's never going to be. Is it going to be more than 5% against a team like this? Probably not. But you know, try your best to get some points on the board is really all you can do, and they're going to try and do that here with this No Mod 5 going into some speed.
I think this team, I believe they played a tapping map in, I believe they played the DT2 in group stage and had a pretty solid team score on that. So as long as they're not fill capped by the jump in difficulty, they should have solid scores. But obviously also, instead of APAC Radiant, you have Box, Restia, Hyok, and Tuna. Hyok and Tuna, I think 2 examples of players who have really improved in their tapping. Hyok been on the tapping right and flying Tuna as well. I recall in SSOT him just popping off on one of the absurd stamina maps. Box and Restia though, players you expect to be really good on tapping.
Yeah, Tuna, a player not that long ago, like I want to say a year or a bit more ago, was just not that great on speed. And definitely, I mean, look at him go. Definitely improving a lot, as you mentioned. So good to see that. But Solid Drinking, first to break, still 7 FCs intact. Just the one down. And actually, Freak Squad winning tremendously in terms of accuracy right now. Oh, Solid Drinking was a Bencho, never mind.
Oh, big.
That explains the score, dude.
Look at Polsky's accuracy, 99.82. The highest in the lobby by like a good margin, and the accuracies overall from Freak Squad are really solid. Hideo does find a break, but it's matched by Hyok, and right now they're looking like the more comfortable tapping roster here.
They really are, in terms of the accuracy at least. Will they have the nerf control still to be determined, but only 1 quarter through so far. 3 minutes, 15-second map, and yeah, Hideo did actually find that miss, but so did Hyok. So 3 FCs to 3 right now, still the 6-way intact, and yeah, I mean, just the accuracy lead for Freak Squad is already accumulated 80k this early in the map. So if they can keep this up, it's looking really good for them.
Polsky does lose some of that act, but so does Restia. But unfortunately, Hideo breaking again, but still, that's not the big combo on Freak Squad. Unfortunately, that break from Solo Drinking is huge.
Oh, but there goes Boxed. 1 to trade back, and now the score is going to say equalize, because although Hyok has that extra combo that Freak Squad doesn't have, the accuracy for Freak Squad is keeping them in it. But how long will it keep them in it? Polsky doing wonders with this 98.5. And it's not going to be enough as Hideo now finds another miss. Now that score's going to start flicking over to APAC Radiant, unless they find a miss here soon, and it's going to need to be soon, as we're already 2/3 through this map. Polsky's down, that's huge!
On the aim, I believe, as well, but I think Flying Tuna trading right at the end, missing right at the end of that pattern. You can see the A rank there. Now it's Gyatso up against Restia on the 2 remaining full combos. And it essentially becomes a 1v1. However, Hyok right now, about to reach 1,000 combo. That uncontested supporting combo is going to cause the scoreline to flip back to APAC.
Not only that, Restia definitely having the accolade over Schiazzo here. And yeah, I mean, just uncontested 1200 combo from Hyok. It's not looking promising as we approach the last 8th of the map. Unfortunately for Freak Squad, it seems they might be going out of this one without picking up at a point. But man, they were so close on so many maps, and would be hyped to see Schiazzo at least finish the match off with an FC. As well as Restia, going crazy. Haven't seen him in for many maps at all. Coming in, possibly FCing this one is also awesome.
Schiazzo, unfortunately, will be finding the break. It looks like at this rate, it's going to be Restia to find the last full combo of this match, winning 6-0 up against Freak Squad. But I mean, for a matchup, Seed 1 up against Seed, 6 seed in the bracket stage, 17 in qualies. Freak Squad had a lot of really good performances, a lot of really solid scores, and I do think they can be proud of their match here today. For a really tough matchup, they performed admirably, and yeah, really good picking strategy as well.
Yeah, no, actually, I went into this one prior to the cast thinking, man, this is going to be a 500k plus diff every single map. It's just going to be a stomp. And I mean, Freak Squad came within 200k on 3 maps. So they actually performed really well, and they had a good picking strategy, and they had a few pop-off performances, and couple maps there where it's like if that one player just managed to hold on through the ending of the map, they like probably would have won the point. So yeah, actually a very, very good effort. I actually think you'd be proud of that as Freak Squad. Feel good getting close on a few maps against a team like this. But yeah, APAC Radiant, of course, the expected victors in, 98% of scenarios in this early stage as the seed number 1 of the tournament. And they're going to be progressing on no real surprises there.
Yeah, and we will be seeing them moving on in the bracket stage to go up against the winner of Hatsune Miku and Pikones. I believe both of those teams are really solid, so the matchup is definitely be a big step up in difficulty for them. Obviously, probably expect to see Worst HR player on the team next week. I think they will need it. But obviously, bracket stage, Freak Squad is not out just yet. They will be going on to face the loser of Hatsune Miku and Pikones, so best of luck to them.
Yeah, and I believe our next match will be coming up in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's going to be Tea Party versus European Goats. So stick around for that one. But for now, I've been Mabs and it's been Gordy. So cheers everyone, and we'll see you in 20 minutes for the next match.
I'll see you soon.